Hello and welcome to Devils in Detail Men's Basketball Roundtable. I'm Alyanna Harina, joined here with Zach Pekale. Zach, ASU had their final road games this week against Washington and Washington State. Two completely different games with their win against Washington and their loss against Washington State. What did you see from both games against the two teams?
Well, there was a common theme in that game, Alyanna. I definitely think the Devils struggled to close out in both games, despite a 1-1 record over the weekend. Washington, they were up as much as 18 within the first 10 minutes of the first half. That was a done deal. I'm watching this game on television thinking, here they are going off to their sixth Pac-12 win. They're going to cruise in style, and all of a sudden I see Washington's up. This is a team that's really struggling down the stretch and finding a rhythm when they're ahead. They almost look like they're playing scared when they're ahead, and if they're playing scared when they're ahead, it's even worse when they're down, because they played Washington State very tough, better than they did the first time in Tempe in the opening game. And this time we saw Josh Hawkinson was limited actually, but the three-point shooting of Ika Rebu and Malachi Flynn was such a problem for them that the Cougars ended the game on a 19-2 run and were ultimately able to win the game by 15.
Right, definitely. In that first half against Washington State, they were aggressive on defense especially, and they just kind of fell apart, especially when I feel like in that 7-0 run that Washington State opened up in the second half, they kind of lost that sense of urgency.
It seems like they're playing scared, and
100%.
their shot selection becomes much worse when they start to play scared. It's a lot of chucking three-pointers and a lot of low percentage looks at the hoop.
Right. With that being said, we've seen it against Washington State and with Utah, and the fact that they just can't seem to close out games. Why do you think that is?
Well, like I said before, it's all part of them playing afraid. They lack a certain swagger, a certain confidence, and most importantly, a player to put the ball in the hands of when they need that shot. You see a lot of the other teams, the Kansases, the North Carolinas, the Dukes, they have that guy who you can give the ball to when they need a bucket during a stretch, and you can't afford to use another timeout. ASU, while Torian Graham, Trey Holder, and Shannon Evans are all impeccable ball handlers, they're all streaky offensive players. They don't really have an ability to get to the hoop, to shoot a three on a double team where it's gonna go in no matter what. They really don't have that skill set. And that's not a shot at Bobby Hurley. That's just a matter of what he was kind of given when he got to Tempe.
Right. And with these next three games coming up not being a walk in the park, what are you looking to see from ASU against the two SoCal teams, UCLA and USC?
Well, I'm really not expecting a whole lot at this point, to be honest with you. I think UCLA, it was a miracle that ASU found itself down 7 late in the second half the first time in LA. Now I think you see a UCLA team that's being written off, only ranked as a 4 seed in the latest bracketology. I think this is a team that has something to prove, and I think they're going to prove it at Wells Fargo Arena Thursday night. I see the Bruins winning by at least 25 points.
Right, and we've talked about this just a little bit at the beginning of this season and what we'd like to see come from Bobby Hurley and ASU and what would make the season a success. I kind of set the bar pretty low, saying that anything with improvement on last season's 5-13 conference record would be an improvement. So I guess for my definition, it's already been a successful season. But from your definition, what would you have considered a successful season?
Well, I would consider this a successful season. I think 6-9 in conference play with 3 games to go is a testament to the growth we've seen from the Sun Devils in year 2 of the Bobby Hurley era.
Right.
I think, again, losing Sam Cunliffe to a transfer and seeing that the Jethro Tashumpa project would take a lot longer than a year proves that this team was really able to grind out 6 wins. They challenged Oregon on the road. They challenged Utah at home. They didn't.
That's very true.
Despite their 9 losses in conference, I've yet to see this team really lay down and die in a game, except for the Cal loss. I'll say that's the only one that was very
that was
upsetting for them. Yeah. But this is a team that's definitely taking strides in the right direction. I'd call this year a success.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. That's it for this week's Devils in Detail Men's Basketball Roundtable. I'm Alyanna Harina here with Zach Pekale. For more content on all things ASU athletics, make sure to check us out at devilsindetail.com. Thank you for joining us.